You have now accessed a complicated production.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Plugged In with Jay. I am here with a very special guest, Mr. Jamal Anderson, the Dirty Bird himself. Thank you so much for being here, my man. How you doing?
I'm good. It's a pleasure to join you, Jay. I'm good, man. Just taking it all in this football season. It's been interesting.
It really has been, man. And I appreciate you. I know some scheduling stuff. You're a busy man, so I appreciate you being on here.
No problem.
So let's just get straight into it then, okay? Just some stats here. 5,336 career rushing yards, 1,645 receiving yards, 41 career touchdowns, single season rushing record holder for the Falcons still. 1998 Pro Bowler, 98 first team All-Pro, Ed Block Courage Award winner, the original Dirty Bird himself. Woo! My guy.
In 4 years, I did those numbers. In 4 years. That's what I'm like, it's so funny because sometimes people just want to remember 98. And I was like, listen, man, the Falcons didn't let me start until 1996. Mm-hmm. And in 1996, I led the league in yards per carry. Yards per average. I led the league, not Barry Sanders. And I had like almost 50 catches. And this is a 240-pound running back as slot receiver. And so it's always funny to me. I'm like, man, did y'all forget I return kicks? I was back deep with Eric Metcalf, man. This was kind of versatility. And I think sometimes I'm like, man, I think sometimes some people forget. So, my guys and then the NFL throwback put together something too. And I was like, did y'all forget I went 95 on the reception? Did y'all, it's like we get caught up in 98, which is dope. Don't get me wrong. It was a fantastic season, but I loved when I was in that June Jones offense, man, in that run and shoot. It's funny. I see the Buses jersey behind you. That was my guy, man. We actually had his rookie year with the Rams. He was at my house. We were playing USC in a bowl game, and we all went to go eat and stuff. And he came by the crib, and so we had a bet on who would have the most yards on that field in Anaheim that weekend.
All right.
And I think the bus might have got me, but I don't know though. I don't know because I put up some numbers on SC.
I'll check that out, man. Seriously, I should. Man, I wish I'd have known that. I'd gotten them stats. All right, my friend. So I realized that when I was reading about you and learning a couple things about you, you were a Raiders fan growing up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still follow the Raiders. I'm literally follow the Raiders on Instagram and Twitter. When I stopped playing for the Falcons after a couple years, the Falcons are my squad, no question. But the Raiders are my childhood team, and you just can't abandon that thing, So when I wasn't playing the Raiders, and of course it helped that they were in another conference, Mm-hmm. So their fates, rarely aligned with what the Falcons were doing. They didn't, they obviously we play and. I remember, man, we went there in 2000. We did a back-to-back. We played San Francisco and the Raiders back-to-back. And, Coach Reeves was the kind of guy we stayed. When we traveled like that, we would fly out Friday to San Francisco, and then we stayed there and practiced at Stanford. Mm-hmm. And we were playing the Raiders. And, the pit at Oakland Coliseum is famous for how, brutal it was, and they're all about it right down there.
Yeah, right.
And so it's very similar to the Dog Pound, but the Raiders version. And so they had a life-size doll of me that they were hanging in effigy. Bro, I was like, oh! Wait a minute though. So don't think I didn't run up to the end zone and I was like, I'm one of you. Did you forget? I'm one of you. What? I was so mad. I ran up there. My lineman was trying to pull me back. Man, I was hot. So I scored on a draw, on a 40-yard draw. Man, I ran right over there so bad and I don't even know if I did a Dirty Bird right. I was like, bam! And then it was a holding. I did all of that and it was a holding call. I wanted to cry.
Oh man, they called it back.
Brutal, man. Listen, man, I ran through half the Raiders defense and they called it back. And I was celebrating everything. You know, so I wanted them to know I was coming to play. But, you know, it's all good now. We've reunited.
All right, man. Of course, I know the answer to this, but I've got to ask you, as if I don't, so everybody else can learn. You are the originator of the Dirty Bird. Where did that come from? Where did you think up those moves, man? I gotta know. So
we were playing really, really well. We were playing really, really well in 1998 season, and they used to do this soundtrack called NFL Jams, and the producer of that was taking us out to dinner. We were in New York actually, and I think we were like maybe 7-1 or something like that, maybe 6-1. I don't even remember. We might have been 5-1. But it was like after the first quarter of the season, because we started calling ourselves Dirty Birds like after like week 3 or 4. And so it was not long after that we went to play the Giants. It was going to be on national TV. And, you know, we had finished the season before at 6-2. We should have been 7-1. We were on the cusp of completing the greatest turnaround in NFL history in 97. We started 1-7, and then we were rolling. We were 6-1, and we got to Arizona, and Jake the Snake Plummer pulled off some miracle crap, and we lost. But you know, we would have finished the season 8-8. But that's the same team that went into 98. So we were playing really good football from the middle of 97 all the way through. So I was like, man, nobody's paying attention to us, man. We got to do something. And so I was like, yeah, man, we have this history of celebrating in Atlanta. This is literally what I said. We have Billy White Shoe Johnson, you know, obviously Andre Rison did his thing. And then we have Dion. Dion's high step is internationally known, you know, I don't care what sport. And so, you know, Billy White Shoes was a groundbreaker. So for me, it was about doing something that like incorporated all of those things. And that's why I started, you know, I was rocking and doing this and flapping my arms to create the week. But I wanted to do I didn't want to do like Billy White Shoes did like the chicken dance. That's like his thing, but that was very 70s. I was trying to advance the agenda. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to do something that you could break out in a club. Like, yeah, that was fresh. So that's where it came from. And then at the end of it, if you really pay attention and see me kick my legs out, that's like an homage to Dion's high step.
Okay. Yeah.
So I kind of incorporated, I modernized what White Shoes was doing by rocking and not doing like this whole thing, you know, with his legs. And then I kind of kicked it out and that's where it came from. And really the first time I was doing it, like that game against the Giants, I was just jumping up and doing this and flapping my wings. I wasn't rocking and everything. The rock and the like kick out came, like we played the 49ers. And like the camera was like here, and I saw the red light, and I knew we were the national game, and I was like, I'm being beamed across the country. And so like I grew up around Muhammad Ali, man. Like I love the light. It doesn't, you know what I mean? So I was like, you see how the guys run to the camera now for like the touchdown celebrations? Right. Bro, I was doing that 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoop, whoop. And so I started rocking and stuff. And that's where, and then I was like, I had to remember that. I remember that night on SportsCenter, everybody's blowing me up. Remember back then we had like two-way pagers. My pager's like, people calling my house, this, that, and the other, calling my cell phone. I'm like, and I was like, oh man, I got to remember that. I had to watch SportsCenter like everybody else to remember exactly how I did it so I could do it again like that.
Right. And now it has gone down in the annals of probably one of the top celebrations in the end zone ever.
I appreciate it, man.
Man, I know you are strapped for time. I know you became an analyst for a little while. What was a transition like that, going from player to analyst?
Yeah, you know, it was good. It was good. So when I first stopped playing football, I had considered playing after, like, you know, when I departed with the Falcons. I was like, oh, I don't know what I wanted to do, and I had gotten interest from teams right away, and so I was like, oh. And then I was talking to ESPN about a project, and that's where Jam Session came from. And so at first I was doing the Jam Session, which was on NFL Countdown. So now you see all these like unique features. Man, I was doing this back in 2002. So like with Michael Vick, with like hip hop music, with dope scenes. Like I shot Warren Sapp in a parachute. Like we were doing like, we were wearing like throwbacks. We were doing like all the cool stuff. Like the jam session, there's like clips on YouTube. But if you look up the jam session, man, I was doing all of that stuff, me, because this is how I thought. If I went to go do like a straight TV job right away, then I wasn't going to play football again. But I was trying to keep like the option open, because I had gotten, after I left from the Falcons after 2001, so this is 2002, I got an interest from lots of teams, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then like I had never, like my kids and my family, you know, we never lived, like I never lived and played somewhere else, and the kids were somewhere else. So like you weigh all of these things. And so I ended up pitching ESPN on an idea, which turned out to be the jam session. And, you know, it went really good. And then I would do, in the playoffs and stuff, I would come on and then do commentary on set, and then Super Bowl and everything. And so people really liked it. It was going great. It was fantastic. And then I ended up not coming back to play. Like I had messed around with it and worked out for a team or two here and had offers. And I was just like, you know, it was weird, man. I just kind of got settled in the situation. And I didn't want to like be living somewhere else for my kids and everything. So yeah, I ended up just sticking with it. And then I went from ESPN to doing ABC. They were like, hey, we'd like you to broadcast games. And I was like, okay. And, you know, I did Adrian Peterson's first college football game in Oklahoma. Oh, like me and Terry Gannon were in the booth for that game. Like I did that game. And so it was interesting. And, you know, it was nice to grow. That is a heck of a job to do. It's a lot going on. And it was good that people enjoyed my work there. And then, you know, I ended up doing a Pac-12 network too. So doing some Pac-12 games and doing some Utah games. So that was cool. It's not something, it's obviously something that I still watch all the games. I'm still very involved in watching like all the college football games, all the NFL games for sure. Right. So it's something that I'm looking at again, doing down the line. I don't know if I'm going to do games in the booth or studio work or whatever, but it's something that I want to do. Like my break is over, and I feel like right now I'm in the process of producing something that we'll be able to talk about soon. What's up? But I'm excited about that. So it's like, for me, I feel like it's just the natural thing, especially as involved and as how much I still love and care about the game. And I may go back to writing again too. That was something that I did. So yeah, I wanted to take a break, and that's over now. So we'll see.
I got you. Yeah, at least get back into doing something that's involved with football. That'd be great for you to do. I see your Twitter all the time, man. You've got some of the best posts. I'm telling you.
Appreciate it.
I'll tell you what. One more question, and then I'll let you go. I know you're very busy. I always ask my guests this question. Is there any specific memory that sits out to you in your football career that could possibly surprise my viewers, listeners, anybody who's watching this, that you could tell us? Anything fun, good story?
Well, you know, we were a unique group, you know. Okay. Our team, we had some characters on our team, no question about it. And I think that was what made the chemistry. But you know, a lot of people don't know, when we went to go to Minnesota, I had this routine where I went to watch movies online the night before games. Okay. And so I do it Saturday night, you know. And so I was like, you know, the movie theater was at the Mall of America, and they were like, oh, they have security for you. And I was like, what? So I knew it was an NFC Championship. Not like there was some threat to me, but it was like, somebody's going to go with you. I was like, what? And so a bunch of my teammates ended up going too. So we went there, and I'm like, I'm a roller coaster guy. Like, I literally travel around the world. I have traveled around the world to go to different amusement parks. That's how real it is with me. Yeah. So we go there, and they got a roller coaster in the middle of the mall. I was like, we got to get on the roller coaster. And they're like, what? I'm like, we got to ride the roller coaster. So the nice people in Minnesota, they're like, thanks for coming up. You guys had a great season. I mean, it was a foregone conclusion for these people that the Vikings were going to beat us, okay? So they let us get on the front of the roller coaster. Me, like Keith Brooking, Chuck Smith, like Ben, just like 8 of us. They let us get on. We're riding, taking pictures. We know we're about to beat Minnesota. You understand me? And they're just so nice, so nice. And then we all went to the movies after that. And you know what movie we went to see? No. Remember the Titans.
Okay.
How could we lose? Tell me how could we lose? That's the story a lot of people don't know. So
that's what's up, man. Thanks.
We gotta hook up again though, Jason. I'm sorry I have to be so brief, but we gotta hook up again, man. Trust me, and I promise you we'll do it for a longer interview, my man.
Man, I would love to do that. Thank you so much for responding. It means a lot to a guy like me trying to get started in this type of stuff. So, Jamal, thank you so much.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, man. I want you to keep going, man. Big fan of your work.
Man, I really appreciate that. That means a lot to hear.
And I'm telling you, I promise you we will hook up again. Okay, brother?
All right, partner. Thank you so much for this. And we will keep in touch. Jamal, have a great rest of your day. Okay, buddy?
You too. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye.
Tune in. This is where it's at. The Fantasy Football Plug Podcast. You know that we got it popping. Oh, yeah, that's apparent. Got a shout out to